Whatever that fucking means. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool with all these niggas till these niggas start acting. Shoot a nigga like a film in a movie, nigga, gon' let them have it. We ballin' like the March Madness. All these cops shootin' a nigga tragic. I'm the one that living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks. I done want it for the bitch that might have made me fuck her even though she average. 30 money in the cook, 45 by my good. I'm a young nigga in the cook, take you out for some joints. Count this money, no rush. I'm on the one-way flushing. Loud pack smelling mustard. These fucking police can't touch me. These bogus police can't touch me. These fucking niggas can't touch me. Apply the pressure with the VVS. I drive the foreign like it was a Chevy. Drive the foreign like it was a Chevy. Lift it up and go and all set. Fuck a cougar like she Holly Berry. Future hinges, dirty spray, legendary. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool with all these niggas till these niggas start acting. Shoot a nigga like a film in a movie, nigga, gon' let them have it. We ballin' like the March Madness. All these cops shootin' a nigga tragic. I'm the one that living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks. I done want it for the bitch that might have made me fuck her even though she average. Fuck on the basic bitch, we gon' wake up and smoke up some blunt and fuck. She gon' keep it so real with a nigga that I'ma come back and always gon' fuck with her. Been the curve and the spray like a motor bus. I was working and serving in Nautica. I get high till I'm higher than Mercury. Fuck around, teach you that recipe. Fuck around, you gon' be out of here. Make it say huh like a nigga with jewelry. Soon as that work hit the city, we move it. Post up in honest and shoot us a movie. Post up in honest and shoot us a movie. Take it to the side of the club and just in case a nigga ever gotta use it. Get a paint, a coat, and pour it up, nigga. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool with all these niggas till these niggas start acting. Shoot a nigga like a film in a movie, nigga, gon' let them have it. We ballin' like the March Madness. All these cops shootin' a nigga tragic. I'm the one that living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks. I done want it for the bitch that might have made me fuck her even though she average. These bogus police can't touch me. These fucking niggas can't touch me. Apply the pressure with the VVS. I drive the foreign like it was a Chevy. Drive the foreign like it was a Chevy. Lift it up and go and all set it. Fuck a cougar like she Holly Berry. Future hinges, dirty spray, legendary. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool with all these niggas till these niggas start acting. Shoot a nigga like a film in a movie, nigga, gon' let them have it. We ballin' like the March Madness. All these cops shootin' a nigga tragic. I'm the one that living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks. I done want it for the bitch that might have made me fuck her even though she average.
What is going on, chat? How we doing? Happy Sunday night. Selection Sunday night, to be exact, a big one. This ain't Ma and Pa's normal Sunday night. This is when we find out who the hell we're going to be betting on in less than a week, Jovan. Starting up on Thursday. I guess we got the first four probably on Wednesday. Probably going to be the Mounts. Playing in the first four as well. Cannot wait to see who they're matched up against, along with the rest of the teams in March Madness, my man. And I'm sure we'll get some W leaks as well. Can we get some W Gootses, who's going to be locked in on X, trying to find the brackets, the regions early W Goots. Detective Goots, locking in, trying to find who the hell's playing who. And Jovan, excited to get your takes on some of these matchups and see if we can find some Cinderella stories, some upsets, and maybe some good paths for some favorites as well, right? We'll talk about it all. How we doing?
Sure. Doing great, Krabs. It's like Christmas Eve.
Dude, I'm stoked. We got about 4.5 minutes until we get the start of Selection Sunday, I guess. But, that shit typically drops right away. On X, you'll get some of the brackets, some of the regions here. I'm excited to see, J Thorpe, where the Hokies end up. Thinking maybe a 2 or 3 seed, probably not going to be a 1 seed for them. No, all jokes aside, I hope they do not make any tournaments or do any sort of NIT, CBI type shit. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Players don't. Only guy that does is Mike Young. He can't go out there and lace him up himself. If he did, he'd probably get seriously hurt. Nothing they could do. I hope they don't play in any sort of postseason tourneys that don't matter. Jovan, let me ask you this as well while we wait. We got about 4 minutes. Are there any sneak NBA plays for tonight to take the edge off? We got a couple games.
There's no way we're going to the NBA, Krabs.
I got crushed in the CBB slate today. I went 1 for 5. Quote tweeting Trent, trying to look cool and hit all my bets and make fun of him for his plays. I think he did better than me. So I need to bounce back here in the NBA if that's what it takes, or the ice as well. That would play. Let me know if you like anything.
Dude,
right?
I haven't even looked at the NBA for a second today, Krabs. Not a singular second.
Well, I don't know. That sounds like it might be a you problem.
Get in the lab, I guess. I'll get in the lab.
Get in the lab. Trent went 1 and 4 as well. How did we both go 1 and 4 and had different plays? That's crazy. That we had a couple of the same new shit plays too. Oilers and Reg, sure. Okay.
And Reg, huh?
Yep. Every in Reg play that's ever been given or talked about on any sort of Bookit stream has never won. They're actually 0 for 100 all time. Dude. Yep. Chat, let me know if you guys see anything, any breaking news. Feel free to drop it, but it better be real. If it's not,
there is some breaking news I saw today, Krabs.
Ooh.
Florida Gators are good at basketball. Really good.
Yeah. They are. Are they good, or is Tennessee just squelch shit?
No, Tennessee played a little better. They've been playing a little better because somebody else has been scoring besides Ziegler and Chaz for a little bit now. Florida's just that good.
Yeah. Florida's really good. All right, lock in here for a second for me, will you? Any plays on the ice?
I mean, I'm looking at Utah. I know the Nucks are on a back-to-back, I believe. Yeah, they just played the Blackhawks last night, beat the shit out of them. Still a little surprised to see Utah catching a little bit of steam, I guess, as expected, but it's a little more than I would have thought on the road.
Yeah. Interesting. Up to minus 135. I mean, yeah, it's pretty fucking weird.
Tad.
Weird goalie situation maybe here. Maybe some backup goalies getting involved.
I mean, yeah, you would assume that. That's already, I think, baked in because it's a back-to-back.
Yep. You like the Kraken late night? They've been playing some pretty good hockey.
Oh,
Jonesy likes him in chat.
Sealov started last night. So that makes it even weirder. The Kraken tonight.
Yep.
Against the Jets.
Yep.
I got to be like super in on fading the Jets. Everything has to line up for me to actually pull the trigger and do it. And most of the times, if they're on the road and Comrie's in net, it makes a lot more sense than usual. So I don't know if I can do it.
All right. It's probably going to be Utah on the ice. I'm liking that play. You're making it sound pretty weird. And the more I look at it, it's starting to look pretty weird as well. What about the NBA? Before we look at some Cinderellas here. Anything in the NBA? Or are we going squad ride Jazz unofficial? Or Utah Hockey Club?
Yeah, excuse me. Squad ride hockey.
Official.
These NBA games suck. Minus, I guess, Bucks Thunder might be okay.
Okay.
On
ESPN?
Moose Piss game.
All right. Yeah, the other games are pretty fucking bad.
Really bad.
They're punishing the worst teams in the league. They cannot watch Selection Sunday. Smart, honestly. Talk about a W motivator for these crummy teams.
Yeah.
All right. Would you take Milwaukee probably against OKC there? Spread?
Yeah, I'd probably take OKC.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's take a peep, Goots, at some of these auto bids here. Auto qualifiers, I guess is what they call them. W Goots. Let's take a peep at some of these puppies, Jovan. Any of these teams sticking out to you looking like potential squads that could pull off an upset? Before we look at the bracket and see their matchups, I want to see if you look extra smart and make any crazy calls here. Pick a weird team that's going to pull off an upset in March. Pick a weird team.
A weird team. So I guess
pick a
straying
no
away
name.
from...
I'm talking about like no Memphis, no no Gonzaga, right? No good squads. Pick a weird team, which is most of these squads.
Yeah. I mean, I think Troy has some potential. That's I guess this is the most like talented, I think, group of like 12 to 13, 14. I don't know exactly where Troy's going to be, but if they're able to sneak and get a good matchup against I don't know, not the biggest team. They have a really good defense, Krabs. If they make a team that really can't play in the half court, they could be an interesting, not fun team to make a game really gross.
Dude, that's probably a pretty good pick. I'm gonna give the Mount. No, I'm not gonna give it the Mount.
I'm certain, Krabs.
I got another pick.
I'll say this before you give your pick. I guess I don't know where UCSD is going to end up between like 11 and 12 line, but regardless, like the semi-obvious teams between them, maybe McNeese is semi-obvious, but it seems like nobody wants to do that again. Drake, is playing good basketball. The interesting thing, I guess, about them this year and this bracket, none of them have a guy that plays minutes that's over 6'8". So if one of them gets any big team, that is trouble. So like I guess for McNeese and UC San Diego especially, because they kind of play bully ball, more physical. Drake's just good all around, but they're also so small. If those teams get a big team, that changes things dramatically. So that's why the bracket and the draw matters so much more for a lot of the teams on the 11-12 line.
Okay. It's honestly a pretty smart point.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, look, everybody's going to be on UCSD, right? Crazy season, crazy run for them, Jovan. I think they can win a game. I think Colorado State, red hot as well, can probably win a game as well. Not the hottest it takes. They've been red hot to end the season, on fire. One of the better teams in the mid-majors to close out the year. They got Nick Clifford, a couple other stud guards. I'm curious to see what seed they end up getting. Those two squads I'm pretty high on, but I'm going to go with a little weirder one here. I'm going to go with Wofford. Got a weird feeling about this Wofford team, Jovan, that played so good in that tournament, a team that was barely over 500 this season, 6th in the SoCon, but they went on a crazy run in their tourney. I don't think they're done yet. And this kid Tripp is really fucking good. Corey Tripp, the senior as well, veteran. He's going to lead the way. I would not be shocked depending on their matchup. Wofford, a very high-paced team, up-tempo. They like to score a lot. They don't play a ton of defense, but if they can get matched up against a team that doesn't play defense as well, I think potentially Wofford could shock the world. And we'll see, Dwight Perry, their coach, pull off a crazy upset. Look out for the Terriers.
Looks like we're getting bracket dropping, Krabs. We got first 4 game off the board. The Mount's not in it.
Wow.
That means they're probably playing your boys out there, Krabs, playing American.
Oh, God.
This game is Alabama State, St. Francis. Winner takes Auburn.
Oh, God.
Louisville, Creighton. What a game.
Ooh.
Louisville, Creighton's going to be sick.
Thanks for
2
playing
unbelievable teams.
Louisville. Calc points added to the card.
Whoever is playing against Michigan here, I'm taking. I don't care who it is. Does not matter. Whoever it is, I'm nuking.
2 bigs, Krabs.
Doesn't matter. They're losing. I'm fading them.
Dude.
Whoever it is, whoever this 12 seed is right here, I'm betting them first round. I'm going to act like they're the greatest sleeper of all time.
UC San Diego, though?
It doesn't matter who it is. And it's UC San Diego, and I'm going to take them on the money line. Holy shit. UCSD just won a game in the tournament. Congratulations.
Oh yeah. I'm taking
Congratulations.
Michigan. I will take Michigan so quickly.
Wow. UCSD just lucked into the best matchup they could possibly get against this fraudulent Michigan team.
They did. So they're going to turn the ball over 50 times. But everybody knows that, though.
Oh, gosh. Damn, we got a severe storm warning going on over here. That should be good.
Nice.
Let's see who the Aggies and Buzz are playing. Yale.
Ew.
Oh, I'm taking Yale.
Krabs.
I'm taking Yale against Buzz.
After they just pulled the upset against the hottest team going into the tournament last year?
Doesn't matter. Taking them.
I can
smart kids.
Allow UC San Diego, but Yale's crazy. Yale's
Let's see who Ole Miss is matched up against, the 11 seed in the South region here. Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. UNC. UNC made the fucking tournament. Are you kidding me? How much does boosters pay?
And they're going to win 2 games.
How much does boosters pay to get RJ Davis in the fucking tournament? Unbelievable. Chad, I did not think they were going to make it, honestly, going into tonight. I really did not.
Krabs, you thought they were going to make it after?
I was convinced.
Dude.
Seriously.
It's brand bias.
I mean, it's just blue blood bias is really what it is. Iowa State, 3 seed in the South, facing off against Lipscomb. Lipscomb, thanks for coming out, boys. GG.
Maybe.
Marquette. Lobos. 10 seed Lobos against Marquette.
That's going to be such a trendy pick, Krabs. I can already see it.
That could be Lobo spot there, potentials. Michigan State. Wow, I cannot wait to fade them. Although they just win and cover every game, but
I mean,
let's see if they can get a team with a decent big here. Let's see if they can get a mid-major with a decent big to go against Fiddler.
I mean, dude, I don't know that it matters.
I cannot believe UNC's in that shit, Goots. How ridiculous is that? Oh, my God. Bryant against Michigan State.
Ran him out of the gym.
I'm going to say right now, if they don't show Emmitsburg when the mount gets pulled up here, I'm going to be so pissed. That team deserves some respect.
Krabs.
They better show the watch party in Emmitsburg.
Krabs.
They better pay into it on TV. Not you, Goots. I'm talking about the CBS broadcast. Okay?
Opening line in that Michigan game, 3.5.
Ooh. I mean, Jovan, I'm sorry. I'm taking UCSD. Give me the
Louisville minus 1.5 against Creighton.
Feel free.
Wow, Goots. That might be Creighton. I'll give you that one, Jovan. There you go. We can move. I'll give you Creighton. I'll take the other two. We'll move. Bryant against Michigan State, dude. Bryant doesn't have a fucking chance. Another former NEC team as well. Jovan, tell the people what you told me earlier. It's going to make me very happy.
Yeah, there's 4 former NEC teams in the tournament, dude. I forget who the other one is. But it's
because college basketball and the NEC, it's like peanut butter and jelly. It really is. But the NEC is dead now. The history, it's slowly dying. All these teams have left the conference and gone off to bigger and better things. But the NEC used to be stacked. They used to be goods, and now all those teams have gone off to greener pastures. They're back. It's a NEC reunion, bro. Can't make it up. Cannot make it up. Chat, what do we think so far? I want to go through some of your comments here. What do we think so far about the brackets? I haven't really been reading much during the reveal here. W. Goots getting the South up and moving really quick. Goots literally moving faster than the CBS broadcast. And is anybody surprised? I'm not. W. Goots, W. South matchups here, guys. Let me know. Let's keep it to the South if we can in the chat. Let me know any hot takes, any upsets you guys like in the South real quick. Obviously, you guys know our takes. We just kind of went through it, but I will be certainly eyeing UCSD, Yale, New Mexico State.
Krabs.
I hate to say it, but UNC against Ole Miss and Sean Padula is going to be must-see TV. Get the popcorn ready. Yep.
UCSD is so unlike you. It's insane.
Dude, that spread is tiny as ma.
No, it isn't, Krabs.
3.5.
I don't know if I've seen a more obvious upset in the past maybe 5 years of the tournament. I think the only one that even comes in comparison that I can remember recently is Murray State. Which that was a while ago and they won.
I'm keeping it as simple as this. I'm not overthinking it. Michigan, I just watched win the fucking Big Ten. And they're laying only 3.5 points to University of California, San Diego.
Well, you got to remember, Krabs, this is the highest.
You don't got to overthink this one.
This is the highest rated by every single Bartorvik, KenPom metric by a lot.
Yeah, the math guys like him. I know. Yeah. KenPom's got him like top 20. I know.
Yeah. Plus,
I get it. I just think 3.5 is still crazy, man.
How about 4.5?
Talk to me when you see a 5. I don't want to hear shit until then. You talk to me when you see a 5 floating around, and you'll hear a response.
Sure.
Okay.
I could see
It's
Lipscomb
probably going to end up at 5, by the way.
plus
Gucci
13
likes
and a half.
Lipscomb here.
No, I'm not saying I
Sneaky
like
dog.
him. That could be pretty trendy. I could see that. Being
13
Sneaky
and a
dog,
half.
dudes.
Yeah, that's a spread.
Can we all agree in the chat
Huh.
that Javon's probably right about Creighton, unfortunately, for Louisville and Pat Kelsey? Creighton plus 1.5, probably the play there. Or just the ML plus chicken barely. They're going to close a favorite, I bet.
Dude, I wish they had Kashawn Pryor, Krabs. Wish they did.
Imagine, dudes. I mean, look, they have so much depth. Let's not act like they don't have plenty. I mean, that's literally Pat Kelsey's middle name is depth. He's played 10 guys since he was at Charleston. But
they're deep. It's not like they're not hurting, though, from the injuries.
Could they certainly use Kayshawn Pryor? And if Ali Khalifa didn't tear his ACL 2 years ago, imagine if those two gents were on this team right now. They would have the most deep team I've ever seen in my life in college basketball.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct. Especially Pryor, dude. He's a stud. He's just like an X factor on the court. He doesn't fuck around. He starts stuff. If he doesn't turn the ball over, I'm excited to see what that kid does next year. I hope he sticks around Louisville.
You know what I see on the board, Krabs? That Sweet 16 game. If obviously shit can happen, but if the higher seeds win, Auburn, Texas A&M rematch. If that happens, there is not a solar system where Texas A&M beats them again. Not one. Not a galaxy. Not anything. Which kind of sucks. But we'll see if they can even get there.
Let's see if they get there first. And you're right. You're right.
Here comes the East.
All right, we got the East coming out here. Duke, number 1 seed.
Duke. Is this going to be the Mount playing game?
Oh, my God, it is. American versus the Mount. Get the fucking chain ready. Get the fucking chain ready.
That is the most Krabs game of
ready.
all time.
Let's fucking go, Mount. Let's go, Mount. Come on.
Mount wins that game. We're maxing Duke. Maxing.
I mean, the Mount is going to have to play a perfect ball game against the lucky-ass American team. I'll tell you right now. That American team is really good.
Dude. Holy Duke cakewalk.
Wow. And they got to play against Duke.
Horrible 8-9 game. Horrid. Mississippi State is terrible. I think they're the most fraudulent around the 8-9 line by far, and then Baylor's just not very good. Horrible matchup.
I cannot believe the Mount is getting American and then potentially a Cooper flagless Duke.
Krabs, you know he's playing.
I mean, Jovan.
Playing when it matters.
I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but could we see a first ever 1 seed go down in the first round?
First ever?
Or second
never
ever?
happened.
Excuse me?
Third.
3-piece?
Yeah. UVA and Purdue.
Could we see the third ever 1 seed go down in the first round?
Let's just focus on keeping it within 30 points, Krabs. Or whatever that spread ends up being.
That spread will be plus 36.5 is my guess, to be honest with you.
Probably, depending on flag.
If they even get there against American. Let's hold our horses here.
BYU. I'm interested to see who they get. If it's a bad 3-point
they're
defense,
showing
a small
BYU,
team.
but not Emmitsburg, man. That's bullshit. What 11 seed are they about to get? VCU?
VCU. Ooh.
That's a scrappy team that plays some defense that could press you a little bit.
That's a rough matchup. That's a really rough matchup for the Cougs.
And the Cougs did not look too happy. I don't know if anybody's watching this right now.
Look at where that game is, though, Krabs. That game's in Denver. That probably sways a little bit.
Yeah. In Denver?
Yeah.
A little closer to BYU.
Closer elevation, too.
I mean, I'm going to have to be on VCU there for the vibes.
I mean, we're taking every dog, Krabs.
Yep.
Montana.
Against Wisconsin. I'm sure after Mikey just lost on Wisconsin ML, he'd be happy to bet Montana there his squads.
Yeah, I mean,
dark horse.
He's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
St. Mary's.
Let's see who St. Mary's gets, bro. Vandy?
That's the BYU VCU game. Just the same thing, different teams. Huh.
Hmm.
That's an interesting game.
Bama. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Bob Morris on chat.
Yeah. It's a weird side of the bracket.
The people are saying the Mount got kind of hoed in their matchup, and they're having to play a team that's too good for the play-in.
American?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what do you mean? Who's saying that?
American 237 in the Ken Palm. The Mount only 250.
Dude.
Pretty big discrepancy there. Duke,
13
Cakewalk.
teams.
Jackie Gambles. If Duke has Cooper Flag, they honestly do have a really good look in their bracket. Yeah.
Dude, even if he doesn't play, they have a cakewalk too.
Yeah.
That
Shocker.
is-
Duke gets the handout, route.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I mean,
Bama Wisco, Sweet 16 from C. Burnett. Sure. What do you think, Jovan? You think Vanderbilt has a chance against St. Mary's?
I'd like to think so. It's just, I don't know, between that game and the BYU VCU game, it's just two complete stylistic just chess matches because BYU and Vandy obviously play smaller ball. Vandy much smaller, but small ball, shoot a bunch of threes against bigger, more defensive teams in the other two. So it's really just who you think is going to win out. I don't want to fade Vandy, but can't say I'm too excited about the matchup.
All right. Hold your horses, Jovan. We got a Mount spread. You want to take any guesses?
I mean, they've been dogs for the past couple weeks. I would be surprised if they're not, a short one again, at least.
Okay. Are you gonna guess, or
you want a number?
Yeah.
3.5.
1.5.
There's no way we're clapping for spreads, man.
We're clapping for 2 points of value there, potentially, in my brain.
What do
on
you
the Jovan
mean?
lawn there.
Clapping for lines is almost as bad
Yeah.
as Trent clapping for bumps.
It's equally bad, and it's moose shit. I agree.
Horrible.
WDJ Fits in the chat. Can we get a roll call going right now? What goats are in here watching the Selection Sunday show with the BTL boys right now? Can I get a roll call going? I know Peg is in here lurking. Pip, B Young, Aloha, what's up, Beast? Yay, lads. Pax Picks, Coop Eagle, what's up, Beast? Seaborn, we got LC, Free Flyer, Jay Thorpe, Slendy Train, Parker's Picks, Dill God, Casper, Nickinator. What's up, Nickinator? We got Rav, Jesus, Sam Moss, Big Rob, Brady Grand, brings picks, my goats. First time chatter here. How is Wisconsin ranked ahead of Michigan, and Oregon is the same seat? Jovan, thoughts on that comments?
Are you talking about like rankings, like top 25 rankings?
I think they're talking about the seeds, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, because they're a 3 seed and Oregon's a 5 seed.
Right.
Wisconsin ranked ahead of Michigan. I'm confused what the point is there.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I guess the seeds compared to the rankings.
Yeah,
Dragon Slayer, I'm looking at the Mount line right now. I see plus 1.5 on the green. We got Cold Stick up and moving W's. We got Factus in here. I joined late. Has Illinois gotten their seed yet? I don't think so.
No, they haven't. I'm trying to think. I have teams that I'm waiting so hard to see between the 5 and the 6 line. Purdue gets McNeese. I'm doing cartwheels. Purdue hasn't been selected yet. Illinois is probably between a 5 and a 6. They haven't had their name said yet. Clemson's around there too. They haven't had their name said. So we'll see where they end up. But God, I want Purdue so bad. So bad.
What else in this East is looking e funny?
I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see that Oregon Liberty matchup. I feel like that one's a shot in the dark. Really depends on what Nate Biddle you get. Because Nate Biddle could dominate that game if he actually decides to play like he should. Like I don't know, like the type of voting he got respecting the Big Ten season awards or whatever that was. First team, where he probably shouldn't have been first team. It should have been TKR. But
Yeah.
he plays like that, like people think he can play. He could dominate. But if he starts being that passive little, I don't know, center that thinks he's like 6'6", Liberty could have a shot.
You're telling me it all comes down to Biddle?
I mean, for that team, it always does. Like Shellstad will
I
have.
think it all comes down to Shellstad, how high his head
Yeah.
is, up his fucking ass.
Well, the thing is, like, if
Phoenix.
Biddle's dominating the game, then it really doesn't matter what Shellstad does. Like, he can be
Yeah, 'cause
quick,
he's not.
he can be efficient. It is what it is with them.
Yeah. Jack Goots told me this morning that Rory McIlroy's winning this golf tournament. So you guys let me know when that tournament's done. Either way. I know they took like a 4-hour break. Would love some golf updates if you guys got them. All right, we got some more reveals here going on. Houston, SIUE.
Edwardsville. Huh.
Yeah. Gonzaga, 8 seed with 9 seed is about to knock out Graham Ike in the first round.
Dude. Horrendous draw for Houston.
Chat, Squad Ride Utah Hockey Club, by the way.
Oh, Krabs.
Georgia.
Oh, I could so be in.
Okay.
I could so be in.
Back that squad against Graham Ike. You kidding me? All right, let's see who Clemson gets.
Please do not put McNeese in here. I'm begging. I want Purdue so badly. Or really anybody else. Kane 3 is absolute max.
Yeah, dude, switch spots with me real quick. I'll be back in 2. I'm gonna hit the head.
Rat piss. In Rhode Island too. Ew.
GG, Javon.
Gross, dude. And there's Purdue. Maybe they'll get them in the second round.
High Point.
That kind of sucks too.
I'm trying to look here for I haven't gotten any yet, but some dogs for games where they're the higher seed. I was thinking VCU might have been, but that's a 3.5 point spread. That seems pretty telling to me.
Yeah. Probably a little bit. God, that's a weird game. That High Point game. It's like Purdue. I mean, the whole reason I wanted McNeese in there is because, they can't defend the paint and save their lives, but High Point literally doesn't sniff the paint. Texas got in, as they should. And Xavier got in. What the hell is happening on the bubble? Holy hell. Sky's the limit for Texas if they can get past the Xavier in the one game. Kind of like that. I was also hoping UNC and Texas would get in. I think Texas definitely put together enough games to deserve it in the second half of the season, or really like the last month, in my opinion. UNC, ACC's kind of dog shit, so a little less, but they looked fine enough. Indiana cooked. Indiana should be cooked. As much as I like that team because they respected my coin all year. Kentucky, Troy, dude. That's weird. That's a weird game.
Kentucky loves getting upset.
They do. I wish they didn't just have it, but it's an odd game because, it's another super high tempo versus super low tempo game. Interesting. UCLA, Utah State is a pretty good game. Don't really know what to expect from that one off of first look. And here's Tennessee. What 15 seed are they going to get? Side of the bracket's kind of weak, not going to lie. Wofford, Krabs, Terriers. Huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weak little region there. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Midwest is not making a move. Not tickling Jim, except for McNeese because they already won. Grady shot free throws upsetting for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I also just love how every lower seed has apparently already gotten the upset according to this broadcast. Actually unbelievable. Extend Rodney Terry. Yes. Yes. Tough bracket for Houston or no? It depends, honestly, who comes out of the 8-9 game. I think the Zags would worry me a little bit for Houston, but I think Georgia might be sneaky in that game and get out because the thing with Georgia, they're talented, but they play a little closer to Houston style. Houston just does it better than they do. So I've been saying that all year. Teams that Georgia plays pretty similarly to, they haven't done well against. But the other teams that they have to make switch styles, they've actually done pretty well against. And the Zags are definitely similarly built to a Florida, which they kind of already have the blueprint. Just got to execute it.
Sure. Yeah, who did my Wofford boys get?
The Vols.
No way they got the Vols.
Yeah.
That's a shit matchup.
Horrible.
I take back the Wofford take, chat. There's no fucking chance the Terriers win that game. Okay, go ahead and remove that one from your brain. That's why we should probably wait till the matchups for that shit. Golly. Tennessee's going to win that game by 30.
Dude,
all right, let me take
not
this and catch up real quick. Hold on.
Better not get
High Point over Purdue, probably not. Good for High Point finally getting up and moving, though. Another great year for them, but probably not against Purdue, I don't think, respectfully. Texas and Xavier both in, sure. Xavier going to win that game, probably. Sorry, LC, and then probably beat Illinois as well.
Xavier -1, Krabs.
There's always one team from the play-in game, from the play-in that goes on to win and goes to the Sweet 16, I feel like. So could it be Xavier or could it be Texas? Do you think that spread's weird? What were you expecting Xavier to be at, Jovan? Maybe a little bit more of a favorite. How hot they've been.
I was kind of expecting Texas to be favored. I'm not going to lie to you. All the line respect you see Texas get all throughout this year. Yeah. Expecting maybe a Texas -1, especially now that they heat it up. But
I mean, they're right next to each other in Ken Palm. Xavier 43, Texas 44. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're right there. Okay.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Good one, Jimmy. He really shook the whole room with that one. And a boy. I mean, if you're going to, at least make a funny joke if you're going to make a joke.
You got to be creative.
LC, I have been impressed by the Longhorns in their play the last week or so, though. 2 weeks. They've been pretty good. Some other guys besides Trey Johnson have actually showed up and earned their keep, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Rodney took the specs off, finally started coaching. Yep.
Yeah, he did. Tremont Mark at point guard changed the whole fucking team for about 2 weeks. Rare.
Georgia over Gonzaga there. We already talked about that one potentially. Any Troy, Kentucky potentials there? I know Kentucky loses every fucking March, but any Troy potentials?
There's some potentials because, again, it's one of those games where it's a slower, more defensive team against a much faster team in Kentucky. I don't know if I can get myself to, I don't know, as much as I want to take something Troy, get or fade Kentucky for the second year in a row, and they'll be the massive upset in the first round. But I think that one could certainly be close.
Okay.
Gilbert confirmed out for tourney for ISU. Definitely moves need. It's going to be Curtis Jones shot jacking.
I mean, that moves need for their natty chances, certainly. I don't think they're going to get, shocked here in round 1, right?
Yeah.
But they're probably not going to win a natty now. I agree with that. That sucks for the Cyclones, man.
Yeah.
One more bracket. What do y'all expect?
I mean, Might get the Crab 5 against the Terps, which I really don't want.
Crab
Or
5 against
Crab 5
5.
against Drake.
Jovan, that'd be something, brother. First
Really
ever
would
Crab
hate
5
that.
versus Crab 5.
Crab 5, Crab 5. Florida.
No,
who am I fading in the first round?
Oh, shit, in Raleigh.
Who's
Okay.
the 16 seed that's getting pounded? Norfolk State.
Well,
welcome to the meat slicer, brother.
I don't know, Jovan. That could be Norfolk State smash spot there with the points. Very well coached.
Krabs,
Squadron.
I invite you to take Norfolk State and enjoy sweating that one out.
Bro, you're going to bet on a Florida team that just won their SEC title? You've changed.
Yes,
changed.
Krabs. What do you mean, Krabs? I've been talking about Florida for 2 fucking years, man.
I don't care if your favorite team on earth, if your alma mater won, you still wouldn't bet on them if they just won their conference tourney.
Krabs,
You've changed.
You are betting UCSD, the most obvious upset in years. I don't want to hear it.
All right. Very confident about that Michigan play. Very confident.
Just saying.
We got UConn and Oklahoma going off.
Look at that 5-12 matchup, Krabs.
I hate that, man. I wanted to take Colorado State, but I love Memphis.
That's an interesting one.
All right. Who am I taking against MD?
Don't tell me it's Drake. No, Drake shouldn't be a 13, right?
They might be, honestly.
Shouldn't be.
Oh, yep. That's a max.
Grand fucking Canyons.
Go ahead and
have
lock
fun,
that in.
dude. That's a
Grand fucking Canyons, bro. Tying Grant Foster.
Dono.
Jacoby Coles.
Dono.
Jacoby Coles doesn't even play down low, bro. He thinks he's a point guard. How the fuck are they going to stack up against
I'm pretty sure, dude, their center's like 6'8". They're like the same as one of the other teams. They don't even have a center. Now they have to have 2.
Let's see who Nick and Josh's Missouri Tigers are matched up against here. 6 seeds.
GG.
Great.
Yes.
Wow. Missouri.
That's what I was waiting
Drake,
for.
Bro.
That's what I want.
You see, respectfully, that's going to be, I think, I'm going to pretend like that's your UCSD. I'm going to hate that pick. Hate its guts.
That is my UCSD.
I hate that pick. Yep.
Let's go, dude.
Give me Mizzou. I'll be with Nick and Joshy on that one.
Yep. There we go.
Texas Tech, 3 seed, getting a 14 seed here. They're going to have any troubles. Your guy, JT Toppin, and the Red Raiders. You've been pretty high on this season as well. Let's see their first round matchup. UNCW.
That one could get weird.
Yeah.
That one could certainly
Jesus,
get
they
weird.
got the whole fucking city in there celebrating UNCW. Good for them.
Yeah, I could see that one being a little close. There's the Jayhawks. Who are they getting at this stage, in this economy?
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
That is incredible. They know what the committee knows what they're doing with that shit right there. Yep.
Yeah, they do.
Kansas versus Arkansas, folks. Get your popcorn ready. Coop Eagle. Get it ready, brother. I know you're going to be watching that one. Get ready. All right, who's St. John's getting here, folks? That's who we really got to know.
All right, it's 15 seed Krabs.
Well, okay, that's a team that if you can't shoot, could literally beat anybody. Yeah, Omaha. That's a team where if St. John's forgets how to shoot, I mean, they already struggle offensively. They can't shoot threes. Omaha could just be red fucking hot. Weird matchup. I mean, they don't play any defense, and they should be able to just bruise through right through the paint, score with ease. But Kadari Richmond's going to get whatever he wants. But that's a weird game if Omaha hits their threes. Hovey Omaha Funeral. Sure. Bro, Omaha is a team we were talking about for like the last 2 weeks. It had the fucking Chancellor coming out of the trash can celebrating because they used to be absolute dog shit. And then they were really fucking good, really good this year. First in the Summit.
100%. West Virginia out crazy. West Virginia sucks. I don't know why they were. It seemed like they were a locked again from the start. That team is terrible. That team is injured, and they had no business. So I'm glad they got left out because they would have gotten murdered.
Shocker, Aloha bets. It's every 12 seed on the card.
Everyone, dude. They do it every year. Every single possible upset, you said, I can see it happening. There's an upset brewing. I'm sure it did.
All right. Do we have the whole bracket? Have we gone over it yet? Has it been released yet?
Yeah, it's the whole bracket, right?
I think it has. I want to start going over just all the spreads that are popping up. Maybe we give it another minute here and make sure they don't show anything cool that we could clip.
Texas
and
Tech is
screenshot.
minus 15.5.
Dude.
That was probably a little fatter than I expected.
Yeah, that's beat. I was hoping to bet on Wilmington.
Yeah.
All right, conference with multiple bids. SEC with 14 teams.
As they should.
14 teams is absolutely absurd. I've never seen something like that before in my life. First four out, WU, first team out. Oh, my God. Indiana, Ohio State, Boise State. Very happy they left out Indiana with the Mike Woodson bullshit. I'm very happy they left out Ohio State. Don't need to say why. You guys already know. And Boise State, a team that, I mean, why waste all of our time?
Yeah.
Jovan, right? That team,
Been
literally
here before.
no chance they show up and do anything cool when the lights are at its brightest. So, and WU, without their best player, DeVries, yeah, keep them out as well. I think the committee did a very good job. You know what? I'm cool with them putting UNC in. At least they put them in the play-in. They're going to make them earn it, right?
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty darn good job putting the right teams in. I'm pretty happy with the squads in. Are you upset with any of these teams that got left out?
No, I was kind of hoping that
Okay.
Texas and UNC found their way in because, I mean, I think anybody who's watched those teams in the past couple of weeks, I know resume is everything, and I would say Texas has a much better excuse than a lot of the other teams to have a semi-shit resume because they played in the gauntlet of the SEC. But if you watch Texas and UNC play over the last couple of weeks, and you've watched Boise, you've watched Indiana, you've watched Ohio State, levels. Just
There's
levels.
levels to the shit, folks. Yep.
Yeah. I also just hated the concept of a team getting in on the bubble that was going to fire their coach after they lose. I just hate that. Hate that concept. Got some lines popping up.
Yeah, I'm about to start
Kansas.
throwing you some of these lines, and we could start talking about
Kansas.
these real quick, chat.
Kansas minus 4.5 against Arkansas. Mizzou is mere minus 4.5 against Drake. It's one of the first games, maybe the first game of the day on Thursday.
Damn. All right. Xavier over Texas. -1.
Maybe.
Akron plus 15.5 to plus 14.5. Jeff, they can make Akron +1, and I'd be on them in that spot, or just in the tournament. I'd be taking them no matter what. We'll get to that in a moment. St. Francis, PA, +2.5 against Alabama State. Are you hip to Alabama State? They beat their former coach, who's over there at Jackson State. I didn't know that. That is crazy. That's awesome. And that Alabama State team's pretty good. St. Francis, PA, they're bit. I mean, they are an actual $0 NIL team. They are a crazy story. They probably shouldn't be here. They got really lucky and hot at the right time. But this team has 0 NIL coins. People have been talking about on the feed. They're like, how the fuck did we do this? How did we get here? This is incredible. The coach started bawling his eyes out when they did the championship trophy ceremony because he said he took a step back and was just like, how did we do this? This is unbelievable. This will never happen again. Pretty much is what he was saying. And that might be where I square up for Kitch and take Alabama State. A little bit more physical squad against St. Francis there. Curious to see if that line moves up to 3.5. It's already, the juice is moving towards Alabama State right now. I'd probably take Alabama State against St. Francis, PA there, Jovan, in that playing game.
I've got a soft spot for Alabama State. Gritty bunch.
Sure. UNC, San Diego State. Looks like Tar Heels are laying 2.5 points.
It's a little short, to be honest with you. But I'm done respecting Mountain West teams, especially in the first four. I mean, it's been sharp to back. It's always sharp to back them. Never works out. So, I mean, using the eye test, I'll die on that.
Well,
Sure,
it
a lot
worked
of
out
people
one
will.
time when San Diego State went to the Natty.
Yeah. It's just, it takes a special team. like San Diego State.
Yeah.
Plus, that also wasn't a first 4 team, was it?
No, it was not.
So
it was a wagon.
That was the year. That was the year that Boise got in and lost by like 20, right?
Yeah.
They were in the first 4.
Colorado State favored over Memphis? No way. Yeah, Jovan, I'd be more. I think that line was weirder, I guess, if San Diego State does not have Coach Dutch and pretty good recent history in this tournament. The fact that they did tells me it's not as weird seeing that 2.5, but if it was any other Mountain West team, I'd be way more shocked that spread's only at 2.5.
Yeah, fair.
Mount St. Mary's plus 1.5 auto bet has to be done. We can move on to Thursday here. How about Georgia plus 4.5 against Gonzaga?
It's gonna have to be done.
Probably. And immediately moves to plus 5.5 right in front of my eyeballs.
Huge.
Yep, might be cake.
Huge.
McNeese getting 7.5 points against Clemson, Jovan. That looks like a McNeese Cowboy spot to me.
Yeah. Nobody wants to
stank,
buy in
don't
after last year, dude.
That shit stank, don't it? McNeese plus 7.5 against Clemson. I said if they were getting single digits there when I looked, I'd be pretty inclined to bet them there. And 7.5, we'd take that.
Sure.
Against Clemson, who went on that run last year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm in.
I guess they're probably the best team out of the ones that McNeese could have played, which sucks. But on the other side, they're also one of the ones that plays the most similarly to them.
Yeah.
So like there's a little give and take. They're both like strong defensive teams, want to grind you out, want to be physical. It's like,
yeah.
Will Wade knows how to play that game.
He does. High Point plus 10.5 against Purdue. It's a shorter spread, I guess, than on paper I would have expected. I know High Point's pretty good, but
it's Purdue's just horrid defensively. And I think most people see that, and they're facing one of the most efficient offenses of all time in mid-majors and in High Point, and just assume they're going to score 1 million points on them. I guess the problem with that matchup, which I was really hoping to fade Purdue right out of the gate, but High Point just jacks threes. Like Purdue has one of the worst paint defenses, I think the worst paint defense in this entire tournament by a wide margin. So like it's a shit defense against a really good offense, but like not in the ways that matter the most.
They got a good 3-point defense.
Purdue.
Yeah.
It's just their layup lines.
Braden Smith's going to cook them. I mean, Braden Smith's cooking anybody plays this season. He's on another level.
Yeah.
He's cooking anybody. Okay. All right. I see your point. I still like High Point, but it's certainly not as much after that talking to.
Yeah, I mean, right. I don't want to back Purdue. It's just like I was really hoping for like a smash bot team that can destroy them in the paint. And that High Point's not that. Their offense is great.
You're right.
Don't get me wrong, but it's just so.
I know their strengths do not play well against Purdue. You're right.
It's not the best matchup, but Purdue can always just Purdue and just be really bad.
Yeah, they could. I don't think people really like Purdue this season, which is kind of making me think they could do something, but it's still big name, blue blood Purdue.
Yeah.
So that kind of cancels that out. Probably still like High Point a little bit, and I'm hearing in chat 9.5s are popping up, and I am seeing a minus 118 here for 10.5 on a green colored place. So that's probably a little weirder than if it gets to single digits. West Virginia Q1 wins 6, UNC Xavier Q1 wins 2. Yeah, but I want the best teams in that puppy, and I think Xavier right now would destroy West Virginia. I mean, they have WU, their best player, is hurt out for the year, and Xavier is one of the hotter teams in college basketball. So UNC is UNC.
Kind of curious. They have wins over the Zags. That's quad 1. Win over Arizona is definitely quad 1. Is Georgetown quad 1? What'd you think?
Where was it?
It was in West Virginia. I don't think that would matter, but so I was just trying to see. I'm curious what their number is without Tucker DeVries.
I doubt it.
So even if that one is not the Zags, that was with DeVries. Arizona, that was with DeVries. Those are probably their 2 best wins of the season.
Yep.
So obviously their outlook is very, very different.
Let me ask Rab this in the chat because I see him bitching about the UNC director of athletics on the committee. Rab, are you surprised to see that? Are you surprised to see the UNC director of athletics on the committee?
Dude, I would love to be.
I'm not surprised.
I would just love to be the fuck UNC. This is rigged for bigger brands, but realistically, if you've watched any of those teams that are on the bubble and you're saying UNC did not deserve to be in over the 4 that got out in the first 4, I mean, you're lying to yourself.
UNC played pretty fucking good down the stretch. I mean, they gave Duke that little run there at the end as well.
If you would have said it before the last couple weeks, absolutely, I'd be right on you saying they have no business being in the tournament. But they put together games that those 4 teams on the first 4 out didn't even sniff in the past couple weeks.
Fresh off the press is extra. Read all about it here, folks. Gootsy working hard. We got the bracket up and moving. Goots. Now, this would really impress me if you're able to zoom in on that puppy. And if you could take me to the top left. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Should I keep going over these spreads?
Sure.
And maybe Goots can try to find them on the chart. Maybe Control F that fucker, and we can see if we can go along here. Or maybe we go according to the bracket here and make it easier for him. Probably. He earned it. Jovan, Auburn, Alabama State, St. Francis. I mean, Auburn's winning that game. They're rolling. Let me get your thoughts on Louisville and Creighton here with that spread still at 1.5, I believe. And I want to double check. Yeah, still Louisville minus 1.5. It's got to be Creighton smash spot. Agreed.
I don't know if it's smash spot. It's definitely a caulk smash spot.
Okay.
I just don't know if I can get it with being too confident on the side in that game. It's a weird one.
Okay.
Lean Creighton for sure though.
Okay. I am turning off the broadcast because it was being really annoying. And I'm locking in. Let's see UCSD versus Michigan. That's an absolute smash spot and a half there, Gates.
Hold on. This is a better looking bracket right here.
Wow. No way you're finding secondary brackets.
Less words.
Moving around the first bracket.
Less words here. Looks a little cleaner.
Okay. Yep.
Might be him.
Good. Yale. I want that line. I'm going to tell you what it is in a second here.
Saw that one already.
Yeah, go ahead and give me Yale.
Krabs.
Give me the dogs, man. Are you surprised?
Yes. You know, we talked about how we were going to be fading, Grand Canyon all this year and in the tournament because they just did it last year, and Yale did the same thing.
Yeah, they did. I'm just a sucker for backing on the fucking nerds. I feel like I can go to bed, resting heads, sleeping great. REM sleep, sound sleep, knowing that I have my coins on Yale. These kids are smart as hell, bro.
Yeah.
They beat them last year as well. I mean, come on, dude.
With Danny Wolf, who is now a Michigan Wolverine.
Bro, you don't need Danny Wolf when you got the point guard they got. Bang. He balled today.
I mean, yeah. It's just
Dude,
when you've just got great
Maryland kid.
When you just got like great size, length, athleticism, and you've got a really good point of attack defender that you can put on, I don't know, a big time scoring guard at any point, it makes me really hard to trust him. It's like Zurich Phelps, I assume, will get the majority of the assignment. Fantastic defender, but you can also put 4 other guys on the floor on him at the same time. That's why, like,
it's,
I don't know.
He went to good counsel, brother. And Jovan, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Chaco, good counsel is where he went. Pulikitis legacy 20 run. I mean, yeah, they got 2 other studs as well, and Townsend and Pulikitis. I really like this Yale team. I know they already did it once. I typically don't back those teams again. We'll see where that spread ends up.
Yeah.
Any chances we see Lipscomb make that game weird with one of the Cyclone stars out?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. Just because it's really hard. Because Iowa State without Keshawn Gilbert, they're just so reliant on Curtis Jones to jack up a bunch of, frankly, like really bad shots. So like I don't know, like it's not like the rest of the offense doesn't do anything. Like Milan's still there and he gives them needed like length, athleticism, stretches the floor. It's just, I don't know, dude. In a tournament setting, I hate that because their offense is just like a point guard version of Trey Johnson, Texas offense before they kind of change it to this point. So it's hard to rely on. So I'd never want to say no chance. Especially when they're playing a team that runs a little bit through their big and he's somewhat athletic and can move. He's not a tree.
Okay. Chat is telling me that Rory is melting. It's now a tie ball game here on the last hole. Goots, what is up with Rory, man, when the lights are bright? He turns into Boise State basketball.
He's playing fine. He's playing fine. He's just tied for the lead.
Turns into fucking Coach Rice, dude. He's just 3 strokes. How is he playing fine?
He's the third to last group going right now. So there's guys behind him, but he can birdie 18. He had a good drive.
Okay. Spawn hit a long ass putt on 17. Is Spawn getting lucky, dude? That guy's having the tournament of his fucking life.
Wow, we got some serious movement up here, Krabs.
You know what else we got? Real quick, because I want to hear about it, but we got serious sub bangs here, Jovan.
Wow.
Cubbies WC, Baumgartner Jackson, Big Rob coming in talking about Joey Gallo's season-long ERA square with feed fams. Big Rob, better chance you get a crab square up there for season-long ERA than that. The Curfew Life, 187 coming in resubbing as well. Jackie Gambles, Coop Eagle. We appreciate all you guys, especially Cubbies WC, because he had a great caption here. Favorite time of the year, gents. Let's make some coins. W's. Yep. Free Bookit bracket challenge in y'all's text. We'll post link in here soon. Fruity, that's fucking fire, dude.
Huge, dude.
I was worried we were not going to be allowed to do that, but that is fucking awesome. We are. Good shit, dude. Let's go.
Love that.
Let's go, dude. Yes. Guys, we will drop that link as soon as we get the green light. Looks like it's in here right now. Let's fucking go, boys. Dubs. I need a Krabs TV square for kickball. Dude,
Mega Max
nobody
fade.
needs that.
Mega Max.
All right, chat. W Fruity. Yeah, that was softball. You don't want to take my more thans in kickball. Chat, we got the link to join the Bookit bracket challenge. I am sure there will be a prize picks. Yep. I mean, literally saying the same things I'm thinking right now. W's, boys. 500 PP coin to first place, 250 for second, and 100 for thirds. If you don't join that right now before you forget, I don't know what else to tell you right now. I cannot help you. Join that shit and build your bracket in the Bookit bracket group. Try saying that 5 times fast. Okay. You know, DJ Fitz is already joining that shit. DJ Fitz is going to have 10 different ESPN accounts, and he's going to try to fucking rig it and win that.
DJ Fitz going to have so many
because
brackets.
He shows heart. Because he shows heart. W, whoever in the Bookit Squad made that fucking group, if it was Fruity, you're a fucking beast, bro. Let's go, dudes. Mods, pin the link. Please pin the link, guys. And looks like Pega did because he's him. Yep. Good. All right, let's keep moving to grooving here, Jovan. I want to go over a couple other spreads that are up here on the board after going over those subbies. Didn't you say there was some line movement you wanted to talk about here potentially? Okay.
Seeing Xavier up to -2.5.
Okay, good.
That feels pretty telling.
Yeah. That probably means Xavier's winning that goddamn game. Shout out Fremantle.
Yeah, probably.
Him. Sorry, LC. That's kind of brutal. All right, I kind of want to keep going over the bracket the way we were doing it originally here. Jovan, do you have any other weird moving spreads that you want to bring up and alert the people about?
Seeing some steamage on Kansas up to 5.5 now, which is, again, I thought that line was pretty fat from the jump. Now it's even fatter. There's some steam on the Crab 5 too.
Okay. Shout out Rodney Rice for proving to us that he's a good basketball player with that one game and then immediately get knocked out in the second game so we can now back Maryland in the tourney. Can we clap it up for Rodney Rice?
Yeah, it's actually
good.
hard.
That kind of went exactly how we wanted it to go, Jovan, correct? Like, I mean, I know you're on the same page as me where you wanted to back the Terps to do something. And I know we talked about them on the pod for the conference tourney and they had weirdly short odds, but I'd much rather sweat them out when we're out there in Vegas for 2 games in the first and second round. So definitely going to have to get involved. And that could be maybe a fun little squad ride future that we lock in when we get out there in Vegas. Locking in the Terps. I'm sure that wouldn't be a hard sell on.
Yeah, Goots will love that.
Sorry, Goots. That's actually not a bit. That's what I want to do, but I know Goots will probably stab me before we get to the counter there. I'm sure Mikey will get involved with us there, though. Sure. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's keep moving to groove, and I want to look at some of these other spreads and go over this bracket. Let's look at UConn and Oklahoma. I think we already kind of looked at that briefly, but I want to see where we're at here. UConn minus 4.5, Jovan. Any thoughts there against who I think is kind of a fraudulent Oklahoma team, but I feel like they've come through a lot on the road this season and in neutral sites. They played pretty good.
Yeah, they haven't played too well when they're on the road, but they've played well, I guess, to close the season, which I don't know that people are really talking about because I don't believe in that team, and I still don't think they're all that good, but just kind of putting it together. It's like I'm forced to respect them, and I'm definitely a little surprised that they're only both 4.5.
Okay. Might have to be Oklahoma then. Boomer Sooners had some crazy moments in the tournament, I feel like, in recent years. I feel like they've had some stinky teams that have made it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but have Trae Young and Austin Reeves, have these guys done anything in March? At least one.
I don't think the Trae Young team, they lost to URI, or maybe I'm tripping.
Two goats,
that year?
I remember it banging a crazy 3 to do something. Maybe he was in the conference tourney as well. I'm sure somebody in Oklahoma Hardo will come through in the chat here. But Mod's putting up Hall of Fame stats right now. God, Cynthia, they're locked in, dude. Can we clap it up for Pega, who's fucking dialed in the chat along with the other mods who are locked in? This might be a playoff tomorrow, folks. Oh, no.
Wow.
It's probably pitch black out there on the course, isn't it? You're not going to be able to see shit. All right. Florida, Norfolk State. The moment that Jovan has been waiting for the last hour. Me to ask him what I think about the Florida spreads against Norfolk State.
26.5.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for telling me because I can't see it myself. That is a ginormous spread against a pretty respected, solid, well-coached Norfolk State team that's been in the tournament pretty much like every third year or so in my lifetime, or at least since I have memories following college basketball. Jovan, that's probably not good for the Spartans. That's probably pretty good for the Gators that they're laying that many points.
Yeah, probably is, Krabs.
Yep.
They're, I don't know, they got this one massive center, but other than that, the rest of them are relatively small too. So,
yep.
Good luck guarding Alex Condon.
Yep. Go ahead and sound the alarms, Jovan. I just found the weirdest line I've seen yet. You want to take a guess?
We're talking about Colorado State.
Yep. Talking about Colorado State against the Memphis team we just saw spank UAB, who, by the way, UAB might as well be Boise State with makeup on. And Yaxel Lendenborg might as well be Tyson DeGenhart. Those are the same fucking teams. In big games, those teams stink. And they're always sharp, and they never really come through. Memphis. Jovan, you're telling me they're plus 3.5 against this Colorado State team? Am I missing something here? I know Colorado State ended the season on fire, hottest mid-major, but come on.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I mean, they're only minus 3.5 to a UAB team that's obviously not here in the tournament. Colorado State's been red hot. I'm not too shocked.
I mean, they are ahead of Memphis in the KenPom now. That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's because all of
42.
Memphis's wins are like 20 of their wins are like Q3, or 20 of their games are Q3, Q4. So they're never going to get any like super KenPom, Evan Maya, all the advanced numbers respect that translates into the lines. And Tyrese Hunter, yeah, he's probably not playing either.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Memphis might be without one of their best players.
Yeah.
PJ still dropping 30, probably. He does that pretty much every game. So, yep. All right, Jovan, you're right. That might not be as weird of a line as it initially looks when you just think about these schools and what happened today, I guess. Maybe I'm having a little recency bias. Losing coins fading Memphis today when they won their conference tourney. Let's not forget Colorado State just went on a fucking crazy run and won their conference tourney as well.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
they've been one of the hottest
in the Mountain West.
CBB. Yeah. better conference. You're right.
It's just every single time we get our hopes up for these rat shit Mountain West teams, Krabs, just always comes crashing down. San Diego State was the only exception that made any sort of substance run in recent history.
Yeah. You're right. Most Mountain West teams don't have an NBA guy, Nick Clifford's, and anybody else watch Kylan Evans and just think that he's going to turn out to be like the next 30 points per game guy in college basketball? I think he's going to be next season. He's going to be the guy.
One tick step.
He's going to be the guy at Colorado State next year if he stays. That kid is a spark plug and a half. He can score with ease. And I'm sure Nick Clifford's going to pass the torch, but this team is fucking good, dude. Goots is asking, do we want to build a bracket? Probably not, Goots. Maybe we'll just go over these spreads, but good question. I think maybe we just keep going over the matchups here and look up the spreads, talk about them a little bit. And let's talk about Maryland Grand Canyon, Jovan. You said there was getting some steamage there in that game?
Yeah, I saw the Terps up to 11.5.
Whew.
That's a lot for a team that just pulled the upset last year.
I mean, that's a bad matchup for Grand Canyon.
Horrible matchup.
Yeah. Build on BTL tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah, Chaco, probably a better move.
Will.
Okay. Trent just filled out the perfect bracket. You know, knowing how CBB works and how sports betting works, Trent probably would be the first one to do it.
I mean, yeah, dude. People win the bracket pools when you have a bunch of people that actually watch college basketball versus everybody's girlfriends that just pick colors and logos. The girlfriends just win. It's unbelievable.
Yes. I remember in my family bracket group growing up, my sister, first time she did it when she was literally like 6, picked based off the mascots. It was the year Kemba Walker won. She picked the Huskies mascot because she liked the Husky mascot. And they fucking won the entire tourney as like an 8 seed, right? Weren't they like a fucking 8 seed when they won that shit? Looked like the smartest person ever. I'm tailing Bijan's bracket again, but he knows ball. I don't know why I don't know that insider joke. Did he have a terrible bracket last year or something? Or a good bracket?
He built one last year. Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't remember how it went, but
okay.
I think he was good for a while. Then it fell apart, right?
He was dialed. Rory with a 5-foot par putt on 18. I've heard that movie before, or I've seen it, and it usually does not go well for Rory. Oh,
I'm so certain.
Dude, so let me know when he misses it. Do me a favor, if you don't mind. Let me know when it lips out. All right, yeah, we'll be on the Terps there, probably against Colorado State. Looks like, or against Grand Canyon, excuse me. -108 as well on the -11.5 line. Love seeing that, although it could change. A lot of time left, Jovan, but that's a pretty good looking sign for the Terps catching some steam already. Okay. Spawn in the rough. Okay. Good. Pega, what are you sending me here, Pega? Almost full faded, just a sample of what y'all are about to witness during March. Yeah. Trent's plays. Yep. I mean, mine went almost as bad, so I'm not going to sit here and make fun of him, but yeah. Terrible. Jovan, do we have a spread out there for Missouri and Drake? I'm assuming we do.
5.5. And probably the most interesting part of it, total is 132.5 grams.
Huh. Go ahead and give me the under in that game. Interesting.
It's a Drake tempo total that we're getting there. Sure as hell ain't a Mizzou one.
Yeah. That's probably a Drake total. I like the under in that game. I don't know if Missouri's losing it. I feel like Drake will maybe hang around. Might be weirdly close. Low scoring, but I like Missouri to win that one. Drake, kind of a team of destiny, though. They might be a little trendy. Probably not as trendy as the Tritons.
No.
Against Michigan, though, but probably pretty close. And by the way, the Tritons down to +2.5 against Michigan. So maybe if they become a favorite, you can get on board with that game. But moving in their way, Jovan.
Still my
moving in their way.
See what happens when we get there Thursday. Also, do we have like the time slots for these games yet?
No, they all say noon.
I know. I was looking at that and I was like, these are the first games, and then I realized they all said
they all just say noon, so probably not. Okay.
I want to see what the first like obvious upset is.
Hmm.
So that one's
Yeah.
always
If anybody in chat sees any times on the feed or anything, please let us know. All right, let's keep powering through this, Jovan. We already talked about, I believe, the Texas Tech UNC dub spread 15.5, right? Pretty fat.
It's coming down a little bit. So you got a snowman raid party of 27.
Let's go, snowman. Atta babe. Appreciate you getting involved, my man. You're good. Kansas, Arkansas, we already talked about as well, Jovan. And I kind of agree with you. I think that's a little bit of respect for Kansas when nobody likes them this season. I'll probably be on them myself.
Yeah.
Yep. St. John's, Omaha. Do we have a spread for that game out yet? We have not talked about that.
I believe I saw 17.5.
Yeah, I'm seeing 18.5 now.
Yeah,
18.5 on green. Now. Rory made it. Okay. All right, great putt, Rory. Atta boy. Lit that puppy in there. I bet. You knew that shit wasn't going to be easy. Jovan, thoughts on St. John's minus 18.5 against Omaha, total at 145.5.
I mean, I told you I'm just letting St. John's splooge until it's a bigger game. I'm a little worried now that they get a fast-paced team that also turns the ball over a shit ton. I was looking at Omaha went to Ames in non-conference, lost by 30, got porked, but they also turned the ball over 20 times. And that's half the ball pressure they're going to see from St. John's. And they're a bit of a rim-dependent team at times, which is not great against St. John's. So might fall apart.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Kadari Richmond, I've already seen him just get 20, 25 points. Sprinting as fast as he can to the fucking rack, getting fouled, getting and ones. And Omaha not being able to do shit to stop him.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. Not a great matchup there for Omaha alumni. Okay. Let's keep moving, Gootsy. W scrolls, my man. W scrolls. Let's check out the top right sector of this bracket, Jovan. We've got Mount St. Mary's American. Let me go ahead and do a pulse check. Very important. Still plus 1.5. Okay. I think that screams Mount St. Mary's is probably the play there, plus chicken. Against American. They've been dogs, and they've been discounted the entire tourney, the entire season, to be honest with you. What's going to change right there at that barely dog price against a very good American team that I feel like people might think is, a class above the Mounts, maybe a hair better, a little bit of a better conference, a little bit of a better team. Ken Palm has them a little bit ahead, about 20, 25 spots. So I'd say that's a pretty good sign, seeing them out barely as a dog, and that's the last time we'll talk about them tonight, chat, but I do like seeing them only at plus 1.5. Okay? Jovan, Mississippi State Baylor, I'm very curious on your Baylor thoughts. You're usually pretty dialed in there. Do we have a line out for that game?
Believe so. I'm looking to see it now. I think they're minus 1.5. Yeah, Baylor's minus 1.5.
1.5 for the Baylor Bears against Mississippi State. I don't know why, but I kind of want to take Mississippi State plus 1.5 here.
Yeah, kind of want to too. Maybe it's a little odd that they're favored the way that they're playing to close the season, but I feel like we've seen the story a million times. They just get line respect. Their metrics are high. They're so one-dimensional right now. It's VJ Edgecombe drive to the rim. If that doesn't happen, they have no offense unless Omier just has like a nuclear game, and like he did in the game against who was they played in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. I forget who it was, but like he went off, and that was the driving force. He actually had a great game against Kansas State. Didn't matter. Still got blown out because they had no other offense. I just don't know that's enough. Again, this isn't like I wish it was a misstate like team that we've gotten like the past couple years where they're much stronger in the paint and not just Josh Hubbard, but I don't know. This is moose shit versus moose shit.
Yeah, but it's two really good players in Edgecombe versus Josh Hubbard, like you're saying. That's going to be pretty fun to watch.
It's probably the biggest discrepancy game between great player and horrible team around him. Like it's a Super Bowl for that.
Agreed. And that'll be really fun to watch. One of those two guys is probably going to drop a 40-piece. Probably better. Actually, I don't know if that's really Edgecombe's game. Edgecombe kind of does it all a little bit. That's
Jeremy
more just
Roach
Josh
versus-
Hubbard's game.
Jeremy Roach versus Duke. I feel like that's also probably in the cards.
Ooh,
Forgot about that. Even though he sucks.
yeah, he
Awful.
does suck. He does
Awful.
suck, and Baylor needs to go back to the drawing board next year and make some changes there. All right, any
Yeah.
spreads on Oregon and Liberty? Because I can't see Liberty spreads up here in Virginia. Would love to see Oregon.
Oregon minus 5.5.
That's
I
it?
believe. Yeah, I thought that was 7.5 when I saw it earlier. If anybody has eyes on that, can confirm the movement. Would love that.
Well,
but pretty sure it was higher.
single digits is weird, and the fact that it's even at 5.5 is weird as shit. Personally, I think that's probably a Liberty spot. What do you think, DJ Fitz? Is that going to be Liberty plus 5.5? It was at least plus 6.5. Sam's saying, okay. W movement there, 5.5 on Blue Book. It moved, was 7.5. Sleepy J is talking about. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go, DJ Fitz. All right, Liberty could win one game. They play great defense. Anybody got eyes on that Liberty defense? They're good. They're good. Probably comes down to Biddle, like Jamal was talking about before, in this matchup especially. Does Liberty have anybody to really stack up against him? Does he play like he has a blindfold on and can't even see, or does he play like a normal person and put the ball in the hoop? It's probably what it's going to come down to there against a, I wouldn't say a very frightful Liberty, front court there.
Yeah.
Arizona, Akron. Can we get that Akron spread up and move it again? Oh, here it is, plus 14.5. Sure. I don't love seeing that at that number with how up and down Arizona's been this season. I don't know, Jovan. I want your thoughts. I'm a little biased on the MAC.
Well, you know what I love, Krabs. Arizona just played, which honestly, not that I didn't have respect for Arizona, but the way that they have played in the Big 12 tournament, where they've really diversified the type of games they play. Obviously, in the championship, they lost to Houston, but they were fighting with them. They were just as physical as them for about 35 minutes of that game. But it was a very slow game, like it always is when you play Houston, and Arizona's fine to do that. Now you get to play a MAC team that can't defend to save their life. This game is soaring over. I don't see a world where Arizona doesn't score 100 points.
Yeah. Well, that's probably going to make it pretty tough for Akron to win this game outright then. And that was kind of what I was hoping and dreaming for. But Akron, the second year in a row, I believe, winning the MAC and going to this dance. But they got knocked out in the first round last year. I think this year I would like to take them, but I'm not too ecstatic seeing them at plus 14.5. I was hoping to see them at single digits against their opponent. But Arizona, I feel like, is a team that we've seen this season get a lot of line respect. One game, next game, they get none. So they've really had no consistency whatsoever. I don't really know what it means, seeing that number at 14.5, but definitely probably not a good sign for Akron.
Probably
Big Cat
not.
already locked in that over. That's a geek.
I mean, that's probably got to be, I would think, the squarest over of the first round, probably.
It's also probably the highest over, along with Bama Robert Morris at 166.5. 167.5 for Akron, Arizona. Yep.
Yeah.
Highest total of the first round. I just confirmed it.
Sure.
All right. BYU, VCU. Somebody throw a spread at me because I can't see the Rams spread in front of my face.
I don't know if I even saw that one yet. There it is. BYU minus 3.5.
Thoughts?
Oh. I mean, it's really hard to love BYU because it's a tough matchup for them, but that feels like a little bit of respect. The total also feels like a little bit of respect at 143.5. You look at some of the other ones they've gotten. BYU has.
Now, this ain't Ma and Pa's VCU squad. They do score a little bit more. They don't rely on their defense as much, right? They got guys like Shulga. And I want to formally apologize to Joe Bamaseal, by the way, for leaving him off the all-former Hokies team. I cannot believe it. A 2,000-point college athlete who's played 5 years in college basketball, played at VT, played at Oklahoma, now finishing up his career at VCU. I want to apologize to Joe Bamaseal for keeping him off that roster, Jovan. He deserved to probably not only be on that roster, but be on the first team potentially, averaging 15 points per game. He's a beast.
Yeah, goated.
All jokes aside, he's actually a beast. Spawn almost banged it. All right, is that official? Are we going to the playoff? Right?
Official.
St.
I'm not
John's
sure
finally comes
if
back?
it'll be today or not, but it's
All
officially.
right. I kind of wish Spawn just made it so I didn't have to wait till tomorrow to see the cake. But Goots, if you would have told me that the guy you gave me this morning is heading to a playoff, I would shake your hand and I'd say thank you for your service, whether it hits or not. We move.
Fuck the playoff, man.
Good work, though, Goots. Playoff tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. No way it's that early. Wow. Okay. All right, let's keep powering through here. All right, it is a Sunday night. I'm going to wrap this up so the brains are fresh for BTL tomorrow, but we got a couple more games to go over, a couple more matchups to go over here, including Wisconsin, Montana. Jovan, thoughts on the Badgers, who are laying 17.5 against Mikey Over's Montana Grizzlies?
That feels pretty fat, I would say.
Pretty fucking
Wisconsin.
fat. Yep.
Yeah, Wisconsin's just a team that I think is they're built for tournament style basketball, and this is a little different of a team than we've seen like in years past because they can shoot it a lot better and they shoot a lot more this year. It's just I think they'll be able to spread out Montana and run past them, play a lot faster than them, play a lot in transition. Yep. So I don't want to have coin against Wisco.
Yeah, I hope my Big Sky French fry shirt gets in time for our Vegas trip. But if it doesn't, I think I'll be okay because Wisconsin's probably going to cover the spread.
Dude, I swear the Big Sky team every single year is always like the sneak upset that might happen. And a couple people have it as like the crazy upset. And it just never happens.
They get skull fucked every single year.
Not last year, but the year before. I remember it was, which I was on the other side because I loved Kansas State during that whole run. But the sneak upset that everybody was like secretly taking was Montana State over Kansas State. And they just got railed. Just feels maybe like the same.
Need a golf show, golf with Goots.
Golf with Goots.
We need a better name.
Goots. We need a collab, Goots and Josh golf show.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a little scroll going here, Gootsy, if you don't mind. We want to take a peep at that St. Mary's and Vanderbilt line. What a year for Vanderbilt athletics. And they are only getting 4.5 points against the best St. Mary's team I've seen in at least the last 5-10 years. The Gales are good, but Jovan, should they be laying more to this Vanderbilt team, or are you impressed to see a mid-major WCC squads laying points to an SEC team, even though it's like a disrespected Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah, line's not too weird to me. It's just it's a weird matchup because I think this is the biggest gap of tempos that you're going to get from any first round matchup. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would probably assume this is the biggest gap between the two. It's Vanderbilt obviously very fast, St. Mary's very slow. I don't know. It feels like just like with Mizzou a little bit, feels like maybe the wheels are coming off for Vanderbilt a bit, starting to get exposed towards the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
Part of that's just because the SEC is damn good, but they've been playing some desperate teams too. It's just, I don't know if they're going to be able to consistently generate half-court offense against Vandy or against St. Mary's. It also would feel, I don't know, stupid reason, but I feel like seeing Vanderbilt Bama an all SEC matchup in the first weekend just doesn't feel right.
That definitely does not feel right.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, DJ Fitz has spoken, folks. Lock in your futures now before you get LCLV, and that is High Point might be the underdog of the first round. DJ Fitz, W headshot. I've always meant to tell you this.
Yeah,
great headshot.
Is that headshot from the chamber, dude?
Where'd you get this headshot done, DJ Fitz? Great work. Great work. Had to be a professional, you could tell.
No, that's
Fitz, let me get one more. Do me a favor.
Yeah, can we get one more?
Let me get one more first round dog from DJ Fitz, and let us know, where did you get the where'd you get that really good headshot? All right, folks, we've got there's only one reason why Goods to be bringing the CBI up, and that's because VT's in this, right? Are they in it?
No, they're not that bad.
No.
These are all mid-major teams.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Queens, sure, against Northern Arizona and Jalen Cohn's squad, former Hokie. All right, we got a reason to watch.
all jokes
CBI.
aside, UIW, I might be throwing some wagers down on them in that tournament.
Incarnate Word, is that your dog?
Really?
Okay.
Sneak good team to sneak well coached.
Look, you know what's crazy to think about for a second? There's an office somewhere for the CBI, and tonight they put in some serious work. They rolled up the sleeves, and they got on the phones, and they called a bunch of coaches, and they locked in a bracket just as the normal bracket was going on. And it probably wasn't easy to do. And they got it done, Jovan. The fucking graphics already out.
Who
for
the
the
fuck
CBI.
designed this bracket too? Horrible bracket design.
Well, yeah, we're not going to talk about the bracket design, but
Whoever did that, whatever they're doing in the office is horseshit. That's a horrible.
All right, I'm moving on.
I tried to gas him up. A little bit, and then Jovan has to bring him down.
I'm just pointing out the obvious here.
I do agree that is a horseshit bracket, but I am still impressed by the speed of the bracket release. Okay. God, that was one of the stupidest things we've ever talked about. Clemson McNeese. What's the spread on McNeese again? Because we're taking them no matter what, but 7.5, I think.
7.5. Yeah.
Okay. We're taking them. Sure. And again, I want to thank Snowman Sports, Cubbies WC, Baumgartner Jackson, Big Rob, Curfew Life, Jackie Gambles, Coop Eagle, for all your subbies, your raids, and also Trey Black for dropping the follow. We appreciate all you goats on the Twitch. Okay. Cannot let you guys get swept under the rug here. Queens ticket already locked. No way, Big Rob. No way we're already locking in Queens to win the CBI. Who's your daddy coming in, dropping a sub bank? Florida winning it all. Sure. Okay. Jovan, who's your daddy's in on the Gators?
The ball knower right there.
Sure. All right. Let's keep moving to Griffin here. Alabama, Bob Morris. 22.5 point spread. Why did I think that spread is a little short?
Is it?
Is it a pube short?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I mean, I could see
maybe
Robert
my
Morris
opinion of
stay in the game.
My opinion of Bob Morris might just be terrible. Maybe.
I mean,
my opinion of Bob Morris is worse than it actually is.
I mean, they're not very good. They're the best out of a horseshit Horizon Conference this year. But I don't know. It's I think when you get to this tournament, especially, I know we saw it last year make a run, and we saw people fading Alabama all the way there. It's hard for anybody to trust Alabama in a tournament setting because you get one bad shooting game and everything all of a sudden becomes close. No matter if you're playing Robert Morris or you're playing Houston, it's all the same. It's just I don't know. With as good of I know a lot of people just ride Robert Morris and they have all year. Good for them, but I think that would be pretty enticing to get 22 points to play with against Bama.
Yep. All right. What about SIU Edwardsville getting 28.5 against Houston?
I mean, I don't think Edwardsville is going to be able to score. Hot take, but I don't know. I assume Juwan Roberts is probably not going to play, which kind of sucks. I'm hoping that he'll be fine for the 8-9 matchup, whether it ends up being the Zags or Georgia, because if he doesn't play that game, they might be cooked. But they also might not be full strength, full steam ahead offensively for SIU Edwardsville.
Yeah, it's a good point. Only game up on the board with no money line.
Houston?
I thought that was weird. Yeah.
This is probably because it's the biggest spread, right?
It's one of the biggest. And yes, actually it is the biggest. And that's 100% why. Good point. All right. Biggest spread of the first round, at least as of right now. Houston minus 28.5 against SIUE.
Sure.
Yeah. Probably going to be a blowout, but we'll see what's good Houston health-wise there. All right. What other games do we have up here on the graphic we haven't talked about yet? Gonzaga, Georgia, we talked about in the very beginning for a second, Jovan, but I want your confirmation. It's Georgia, but now they're up to plus 6.5, I'm seeing on the spreads. I don't love seeing that movement.
Sharks might be on Zags.
Fuck, dudes. In a year where they didn't do much, but then they went on and did job in the WCC. Maybe Coach Few is sober heading into the big dance here, and maybe they do get one win and a cover against the Bulldogs. At least that's what it's looking like looking at the line movement. Because this was at 5.5, right? When we came on here. That's not ideal.
So, yeah.
Not ideal for your Georgia boys, but we'll see. Still a lot of time. You're probably off that game right now, though, looking at that spread moving around.
Yeah, maybe for now. Because
Okay.
obviously the game below it's already set. So
Yep.
we'll be there, of course.
They could have
Live
made
without
McNeese a
Georgia.
favorite, and you're betting them. It wouldn't matter. They could have made McNeese
yeah.
plus 40. They could have made a minus 40. It doesn't matter. You're backing your boys.
Of course.
Has to be done.
Of course.
All right, let's get a little scroll going here, Goots.
I want to see. I guess the funny part is you got Will Wade playing a team from the Southeast when you know he's going to be back there pretty soon.
Where is Will Wade going to end up, folks? I'm so curious. It might not be this year. I wouldn't be shocked if it was, though. It might not be this offseason, but it's certainly going to be soon.
You know, I thought he was holding out for Texas, but now, last couple weeks, I might have thrown a wrench into that. Even though Rodney Terry is still a horrible coach, but he did push the right buttons to get them here eventually. So maybe he saved his job after that. I mean, there's a bunch of openings, but I don't know which ones he really wants. We'll see. But I would assume he's coming somewhere in the South.
Also forgot Ivy League has won a game 2 years in a row. Yeah, Trice picks. Good point in the chat. I know we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
But good point. I'm a sucker for that Yale team now. I like them. I respect them. I think they got a good squad. All right, let's keep moving and grooving here. Illinois. Well, we don't really know what that spread is yet because we got to see Texas versus Xavier. But if it ends up being Xavier, Jovan, and it's Illinois versus Xavier, are you going to back Xavier with me there in Fremantle?
Frankly, I don't care for Illinois with that draw, no matter who they face, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't think it's the greatest matchup either way in its own different way. Obviously, like if Texas makes it through, you're still somewhat banking on, I don't know, the Trey Johnson don't shoot toward eights game. But now with Tremont Mark out of the fold and some of the better guards that are allowed to be more aggressive, you're going to be able to do that against Illinois. So, I mean, that would be great. Obviously, we think Xavier wins in that first 4 game. They get some steam up now, and then Fremantle will be a problem for them on the inside there. So there's its own couple things.
Yeah. Wow. I'm seeing Arizona State might be keeping Coach Hurley. Matt Gauthier saying in the chat. If that's true, Goots, that kind of surprises me a little bit. Kind of thought they might be making a change this offseason, but still a big name coach. All right. Kentucky versus Troy here, Jovan. Looks like Troy's sitting at plus 10.5 on the spreads. You think they got a pulse against Kentucky, a team that we've seen lose a lot in recent years, but new coach, new year, new team, right?
Yeah, new bags. Probably won't be able to push the button fading them because I hate fading the team that was just the subject of the biggest upset in the first round the year before. But
yeah,
it's hard to say Troy's dead. I could certainly see a Kentucky win and no cover in this game because Troy just slows them down, gets them in like a little shooting slump for a while, and then they eventually fight back.
Yep. Why am I not seeing a Utah State spread, folks? Anybody know?
5.5.
Here we go. Plus 5.5 against UCLA. Any thoughts on that, Jovan? I mean, I've kind of had a weird feeling about this Utah State team this whole season. I kind of like what they're cooking up out there, man. I like Ian Martinez. I think he's a future NBA player along with Toby. I've really been impressed with this Utah State squad overall this season, although they have fallen short in a couple big games. I am pretty excited to see them at plus 5.5, though, I feel like, against a blue blood in UCLA. It's gotten some line respect in recent weeks, right? I feel like that's got to be Utah State.
I don't know. I don't bet on Mountain West teams that I really don't have any belief in.
Okay.
So I'm good.
All right. Trying to see the Ken Palms for these two teams. Curious if Utah State's getting as much disrespect as I'm expecting. They're 52nd. Actually, Utah State is. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah. UCLA, on the other hand, is 27. Also pretty good and probably better than most people would expect off the rip. So I'm still leaning Utah State there and Ian Martinez. But again, you're signing up to bet on the Mountain West in March, and that is a death wish. Okay.
I wonder how many Mountain West programs have won a game 2 years in a row. Recently, anyway.
Probably 0.
So I feel like it can't be very many.
Probably 0, and because I can't tell you if the Aztecs won a game the year before or after they won the whole shebang. I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Even if
Maybe
they
the year
did,
after they did.
I can't remember many teams other than them that would even have the potential to do it, right?
Yeah.
Utah State just beat the hell out of the Frogs last year. Horrible program. Will they do it again? As a dog again.
Good point. Let's see if Tennessee is going to absolutely destroy Wofford here, Jovan.
They might. I don't know. You think your boys have any shot?
Wofford plus 19.5. I'm certainly happy to see them within 20 points against Tennessee, but I mean, Tennessee didn't do anything today to prove that they should be laying a big old number.
I think
they spanked around.
I think they played. They played well. They didn't.
I'd say that spread is a pretty good sign for Wofford. I wouldn't say I'm sprinting around doing cartwheels and backflips, but I'd say I'm pretty happy about that inside of 20 for the Terriers.
How about I pose it to you like this? Obviously, this was a while ago, but in non-conference, they went into Cameron Indoor, and they were plus 24. So
when was that? During the season, the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it was beginning of the season. It was like the middle of November, but comparatively, neutral court, obviously, whole season where I think Wofford's probably gained some respect to this point. Tennessee has to a little bit. Kind of seems like a lot.
Yeah, lad says, I'll tip cap if Wofford wins, but I don't see it at all. I mean, yeah, money line would be fucking nuts. But I do like seeing a 1 as the first number there for the spread for Wofford. I think it gives them a pulse. Gives them a pulse. I'm going to have to look more into that matchup, though, to be honest with you.
What did you expect it to be in the 20s?
Yeah, probably the low 20s against Tennessee. I mean, this is an SEC Tennessee team that although I know Coach Barnes doesn't win or do shit in March, but it's a team that gets line respect. It's a team that's very good, very well respected, pretty much everywhere you look. Overall, one of the better teams in the country for the majority of this season. Yeah, I probably would have expected like 21.5, 22.5. You know, not too far off this. So not ecstatic, but good to see him at the big 19.5, at least inside of 20.
Yeah, I respect that.
And I also love seeing just teams like big name Tennessee. Ooh, they only got to win this game by 20 points. I know it's not NFL, right? You don't read the lines exactly like that. But still, Tennessee to, only win the game by 20 points against Wofford looks relatively easy, at least on the surface level. Going to dive into the matchup a little bit, but I still think I'm talking myself into Wofford here. Okay.
Right.
What else? I have one more question for you, I guess, before we wrap up. If it's not going to be Wofford, Jovan, against Tennessee, who is it going to be? I know I asked you beforehand, who's your dark horse from the auto qualifiers, but now that we have the matchups, now that we have the teams that we know are going to be facing off against each other, who do you think has a chance to actually make a run? A team that people might not expect to be hurt? I guess let's shoot, for a Sweet 16 run, not for a Final Four or not for a Natty, but any of these crazy mid-majors or teams people wouldn't expect, you think could make the Sweet 16 maybe?
Make the Sweet 16.
In the Big 2-5.
Zoom out on this bracket here. Get a look.
Let me get some zoomages going here, folks.
Some serious zoomage.
I'm putting Jovan very far on the spot. By the way, some updates. While
you want me to just fuck around and say it, Krabs?
Sure. I would love that.
Go ahead and rile up Will Wade, man.
McNeese.
Partially because if we're talking Sweet 16 run, if they are to win a game, and God forbid there are 2 upsets on that bracket, I really wanted them to play Purdue from the start because Purdue's paint defense is horrible. That's the perfect matchup for a team like McNeese. So if they were to get past Clemson, which obviously we think is pretty live, they got a comparable team to them style-wise. You get past Clemson, you're either playing a Purdue team that they really can't do anything to guard what you have at the rim, and you have a bunch of guys that can get there, a lot of athleticism, a lot of size, lot of length everywhere, or you're playing a high point team that just shoots over the top of you, which is what you try to get teams to do defensively anyway. So if Will Wade has magic in him for one game, I can tell you sure as hell going to have magic in him for two. So I think if we're talking teams to make like that multiple game run, I think their ceiling is the highest just because of that Purdue high point side.
Yeah. I'm not as high on those squads either in Purdue or High Point as well. So some of those teams are going to face down the line could be pretty decent matchups, or at least not the worst matchups, right, for your squad.
And we've talked about this, Krabs, when it comes to guys that have already accepted a job elsewhere. I think Brad Brownell, did you hear how he answered some of the questions they were giving him about the Indiana job?
No. Is he panicking? Is he being a freak?
He gave some answers like he didn't
He's at least taking a call or something. Yeah, that sucks.
He gave the very corp answers where he wasn't shutting it down. He was just kind of dancing around it a little
sucks. Bit. I mean, look, if I was Brad Brownell, I'd be getting me and my family out of the ACC as well. I'd be sprinting out of that conference right now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's from Indiana too, so like it's
and they already went on a run last year, right, with this Clemson team. So it
makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for him to potentially get the job, but what he's answering those questions makes it seem like he might already have it.
Was he answering questions with questions?
He was.
That's what Big Rob's saying. And everybody knows people who answer questions with questions, they're extremely nervous and probably for good reason. Probably because they know something's going on. Maybe they're taking some calls. Maybe they've already signed some papers that shouldn't be signed until after the season. But guys, this is how it works. Every team does that shit. Every team tampers. I don't care what sport it is anymore. The Big 2-5, every team tampers. Every school tampers. If you don't, you're not trying hard enough. Okay, wake the fuck up. All right, my team I'm going to pick here is Xavier, I believe. Can we zoom in on their bracket? I want to make sure their matchup looks okay with the teams around them. But like I said, I kind of already set this one up, guys. There's always, I feel like, a team in the first four that goes on a little bit of a run. I'm going to make my shot here. I'm going to take my shot on Xavier. A very well-coached team, a team that was catching a little bit of steam already against Texas. Sorry, LC, but I want to fade the Longhorns, and I want to back Xavier in that game. And typically one of these teams has some momentum and ends up going on a little bit of a run. So I'll go ahead and take Xavier to move on and advance against Texas. And then who do they end up playing against? Can we go find their matchup? Illinois. Yeah, music to my fucking ears. Like you were talking about earlier, Jovan, doesn't matter who it is, Texas or Xavier. We'd probably like them both against Illinois, sure. But if Xavier wins that game, I think there's a pretty good chance they knock off that Illinois team that has been all over the place this season. I feel like it's pretty clear at this point they just can't be a good team. They're just not a good team. Illinois, like they've been in years past with guys like Terrence Shannon. This ain't mom and pa's fighting Illinois squads. I want Xavier against them after they beat Texas. And then who would they get matched up against, Goots? Can we go scroll over there real quick? Take a peep at that matchup.
Other side, I think, right? There we go. Tennessee, UCLA, Kentucky. That whole bottom side there.
Yep. Not really scared of any of those teams, to be honest with you. Thought there was a chance Tennessee might be legit this season, but after watching Florida just absolutely muck them today, I think it's probably your same old Tennessee, Coach Barnes coach team that just does not have the juice. Yeah. I think there's maybe a chance we see Xavier go on a little bit of a run.
I got to be honest, though, and this isn't just like to glaze Florida. I think Tennessee, they impressed me today.
Wow.
And they have for like the last couple weeks because at the beginning of SEC play, it was just Chaz Lanier, shoot like pork. You had Zakai Ziegler, who folded, which he still does, folds at every single important moment, turns the ball over a bunch. And then like Igor was doing stuff here and there. There was no like real other scoring in the backcourt other than Chaz Lanier and then like the occasional Ziegler performance. Now you have guys like Gainey who have stepped up and played really well the last couple weeks. Like if they can get something else in the backcourt, like that changes the outlook for them dramatically. So I'm Not like fully in on Tennessee because, again, it's still a Rick Barnes team in March. They still have the tendency to go cold offensively, but I'm a little less full fading them coming into the tournament than I probably was like a month ago.
All right. Probably a pretty good way to put it. They did fight a little bit in that game. They were down almost 20 at one point. They crawled back into it, made it a ball game.
They didn't lose that game. Florida won it.
Okay. Yeah, good point. Shocker to hear some Florida gas and Florida slurpage, but by God, they deserve it, Jovan.
Yeah, the refs really wasn't like one way or the other, but it was awful today. The whole game was in foul trouble. And if you're playing a depth versus depth game with Florida, like you're going to lose. That's just a fact of the matter.
You're going to lose. All right, Jovan, why don't we go ahead and wrap this puppy up? We'll let the people go, and they could go, craft up the brackets. Real quick, though, before you guys dip, really quick, do not close down the stream. Join our bracket group. We'll drop the link one more time. I believe our goated mods, Pega, already added a command in the chat as well that he'll drop, so you guys can get the link to join the bracket group. It's free. You can win Prize Picks coins. Join it now before you forget, and then go on and make your bracket like you're going to tonight. Anyways, W's bracket. Get the link right here. Get involved. Join the bracket group this year, please. Okay? And WPEG, I'll check out that weird interview from Coach Brad as well after this. If he was answering questions with questions, he might already be the head coach of Indiana head to next season. Okay? W's chat. Appreciate you guys. W Goots as well. Calling the shots, and Jovan as well. Good shit today. I'll catch you tomorrow on BTL.
For sure.
Right? We'll be. W's chat. Good luck crafting up tonight. Go get surgical. We'll be.